This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a bus driver is retiring after shuttling school children around the South Otago for 40 years. Balclutha youngsters are engaging with technology through computer games. And a couple in Cromwell are getting creative with wine barrels, turning them into chairs, tables and more. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. The daily school run can be a mission for some parents, with kids fighting in the car, morning traffic and other pressures. But imagine driving 30 children to and from school for 40 years.
The wheels on the bus have stopped going round and round for Val Fox after driving South Otago kids to school for 40 years. She says many years ago the bus broke down and they had to resort to a not strictly kosher way of getting the kids to school.
I got my husband to come up in the old ute, and we could do that in those days because it was just the way it was. There weren't so many rules as there are now. And then, so all the kids jumped on the back and drove them down to the school, yahooing and carrying on the back of the ute. And loved it.
She says stern words and the odd bit of animal control are all essential talents when your daily school run involves 30 children in the country's agricultural heartland.
I stopped at a family, it was the Perkinses then, and they had about 5 children. So I was sitting there waiting for them all to get on, and then I turned around and said, "You right?" And the goat walked in the bus. So that was hilarious. All the kids just laughed, and it was great. We had a bit of trouble getting it out though.
About 30 years ago, Waitahuna West sheep farmer David Alderton was one of the kids Val Fox took to school, and he says he always felt safe as he knew Mrs Fox was looking out for them in more ways than one.
Yeah, she had to keep the odd eye on us. I used to see the odd look in the mirror when we were sitting in the bus.
He's since had his own brood picked up and delivered safely for the past few years and applauds Fox's dedication to the area. Val Fox stepped down after 40 years of service to Waitahuna and Lawrence schools at the end of last term and says she won't necessarily miss the driving, but will miss the children. In South Otago, the South Today.
Dunedin will not be used for quarantine and managed isolation facilities at this stage, according to the Minister in charge of managed isolation. Megan Woods was in the South last week, scouting out possible sites for quarantine hotels. On the visit, she ruled out Queenstown and Invercargill, and today has announced Dunedin will not host a managed isolation facility. Air Commodore Darren Webb says the logistical challenges for Dunedin are too great. Woods says the 14-day isolation period is the most important line of defence. Balclutha youngsters are getting the chance to interact socially while enjoying multiplayer computer games at the local library. The once-a-month event was created to give young people a chance to use sophisticated computer setups out of financial reach from many family budgets.
About 40 youngsters from Balclutha got the chance to enjoy playing computer games in a sophisticated multiplayer setup that might otherwise be financially out of reach. Normally held once a month, the 3-hour sessions cost just $20, but volunteer youth worker James Wards is hoping to eventually get the cost for the players down to zero.
You know, we just want to create these extraordinarily, sophisticated sort of gaming environments, and we want to obliterate that entry cost altogether and try to rope in enough sort of community involvement and support for us to mitigate that entry cost altogether and just put these events on for the community and just have all these kids all sign up and come on down.
The money to buy this expensive hardware has come out of Ward's own pocket, plus a little bit of assistance from the local community. The games include the popular Fortnite and Minecraft games, which, because of their multiplayer nature, let young people have a valuable social interaction they might otherwise not get.
There's a lot of team-based games, all the games are multiplayer experiences, so they're, all working together, solving a problem together, teamwork. There's also a lot of competitive stuff too with the, sort of esports craze all happening internationally. It's happening now in Balclutha, of all places, so it's fantastic.
Player Luke Wilson agrees the monthly event is a good avenue for social interaction.
Playing Minecraft with helping with other people, which I never really get to do. It's quite fun.
And Toby Craig says he's been hooked since the first time of battling it out with others on the computer screen.
Well, one day my mum saw it on Facebook and she asked me, "Oh, do you want to start going to this?" And then I said yes. And then she was like, and then she booked me in, and then I loved it, so I just kept coming back.
Ward says there's more demand by young people for this sort of experience than most people realise, and ongoing funding is an issue. In Balclutha, the South Today.
Contractors are busy removing railway lines where they cross cycle lanes in Dunedin. Seen here, a digger pummels the ground, breaking up concrete and tar seal around railway tracks along Dunedin's Wharf Street at the intersection with Roberts Street. Subcontractors Hollands are working under Fulton Hogan, who won the tender for the project. The South Today understands the tracks are being removed as they have been hazardous for cyclists in years gone by, with tracks being removed at Kitchener and Wharf Street intersection earlier this year. A creative couple in Cromwell are busy turning old wine barrels into all sorts of items of furniture. Motivated by free time during lockdown, they've turned the discarded barrels into chairs, coffee tables and, of course, wine racks.
A Cromwell couple have found a way to turn fine wine into fine furniture. Maya Alexic and Carl Smith used time at home during the COVID-19 lockdown to fire their imagination, creating furniture out of used wine barrels.
I'm a carpenter and I've made a few in the past, but never really been motivated. And I actually had one half made sitting around for a while, and I wanted to show Maya it finished, and then that was the start of it.
Their creations generated a flurry of interest on social media.
So I had 10 barrels over lockdown and they've all disappeared, and now we're back into accumulating, ready for summer really.
So it started with just like wine rack, half barrel, and then we made a couple of coffee tables. Now the latest one is probably the wine barrel chair, which is, there's a lot of interest. Popular are wine platters, the tops of wine barrels. So yeah, there's just whatever has to do with wine, people are keen. So Carl is pretty much in charge of making things, and I'm just more, I don't know, creative side of it. I started making my fruit bowls and platters and just learning how to use all the tools. But yeah, we are working together, definitely. Yeah.
In Cromwell for the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, Timaru's Southern Events Centre is set to become busy with a new sport, and model planes take flight at Dunedin's Edgar Centre.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
You've seen us in the street, now find us online. Check out shopon.org.nz. We have all sorts of treasures, from retro and vintage clothing to antiques, homewares and accessories. New items added every week. We're open 24/7.
Hi, Lindsay Campbell. We're back in Invercargill again. We're here for a month. We've got a men's fashion clearance at up to 70% off. We're right beside the Motorcycle Mecca. Check them out too. Jackets, lovely knitwear, scarves, hats, you name it, we'll keep you warm. Come and see us at the menswear fashion clearance pop-up.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
That's the Alex Campbell Menswear pop-up store in Invercargill.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Welcome back. Road snowfall warnings are in place for Dunedin's northern motorway and alpine passes across Otago and Southland. A strong wind warning is also in place from Dunedin to Palmerston on State Highway 1. Met Service says snow flurries could fall as low as 200 metres for some parts of Dunedin tomorrow. A heavy snow watch is in place for parts of Fiordland, Southland and Clutha. The cold temperatures could also mean snow falling in central Otago and the Queenstown Lakes area. The Winton Volunteer Fire Brigade is challenging other firefighters to donate to the Southland Charity Hospital. They have shared their message through a unique video which has gone viral. The online video features members of the Winton Brigade showing off some of their best moves to promote the cause. Dressed in fighting gear, the volunteers get their groove on to a Bruno Mars song, Uptown Funk. The charity was founded by the community to provide healthcare for those living in the South who are unable to access treatment publicly or privately. Members from the Dunedin Model Aero Club are using the Edgar Centre to try out their aircraft. Club members say the large indoor space is ideal for flying smaller wind-up and battery-powered planes.
Each Wednesday morning, a group of model plane enthusiasts meet up at Dunedin's Edgar Centre to fly their delicate aircraft in the safety of an indoor venue.
The planes, of course, are very small and really would be tossed about by the wind. And so these are a type of plane that can really only be flown inside.
The group are all part of the Dunedin Model Aero Club, of which some members fly more powerful petrol-powered aircraft on the Taieri floodplain. The ones being flown at the Edgar Centre are either bought off the shelf or built from plans and hobby magazines.
We have really only rubber bands and the electric for the radio-controlled planes, and one or two free-flight planes as well will fly on little electric motors with very small lithium batteries.
Thompson is a fan of aircraft made from balsa and tissue paper and powered by a wind-up rubber band, where the objective is to stay airborne as long as possible.
And it's a very, very easy contest to run. It's simply a duration contest. But for all the others, of course, they're flown just for fun. And most of the time the skill is in simply finding you can fly it safely without breaking it.
The model plane enthusiasts are charged $5 each for their 2-hour slot at the Edgar Centre. In Dunedin, the South today.
Timaru's Southern Event Centre is set to become busy with social and competitive players enjoying the new sport of pickleball. Played with a paddle bat and a hollow plastic ball, the game is usually played indoors on badminton courts.
The game of pickleball is taking off across the South Island, with people in Timaru recently being invited to try out the game at the Southern Event Centre. Played on a badminton court with the nets lowered and using a hollow ball, the game particularly suits retirees who want something a bit less energetic than tennis.
A system where you're playing similar to tennis, but you play more at the non-volley zone, which is up by the net, rather than the baseline. So you're trying to get up to that line at the front end, and it becomes like a bit of ping pong.
Pickleball New Zealand Development Officer Joe Tawayo says just up the road in Ashburton, the game of pickleball became very popular in very little time.
There's a really good group in Ashburton that's just started with 3 or 4 people, and there's now there are like 40 or 50 people playing, turning up 3 times a week, so numbers they grow pretty fast.
Tawayo says there are well over 1,000 players across New Zealand, and it's a game anyone can enjoy if they travel across the world.
And what's good about it is you can take your paddle anywhere in the world and just turn up at a paddleboard court. You don't have to be a member, you just pay your $5 and join in.
Last week was the first public pickleball event at the Southern Event Centre. In Timaru, the South today.
After the break on the South today, we get an update on tourism in Queenstown and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Hi, Lindsay Campbell. We're back in Invercargill again. We're here for a month. We've got a men's fashion clearance at up to 70% off. We're right beside the motorcycle Mecca. Check them out too. Jackets, lovely knitwear, scarves, hats, you name it, we'll keep you warm. Come and see us at the menswear fashion clearance pop-up.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
That's the Alex Campbell Menswear pop-up store in Invercargill.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Come on, mate. The blue doesn't go with the brown.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Welcome back. With the school holidays over, many tourism businesses are worried they won't be able to stay afloat during the economic downturn. Ngāi Tahu Tourism, which owns Shadow the Jet, says business was better than expected over the school holidays. In May, the operator cut 300 jobs and put most of its businesses into hibernation, saying the domestic market alone would not be enough to sustain it. But with increased demand over the recent school holidays, they had been able to rehire some of those staff. Many in the tourism industry are pointing out that over half of accommodation in Queenstown last year was for overseas tourists, a shortfall which local tourists are unlikely to fill. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A bus driver has some fond memories and is retiring after shuttling school children around South Otago for 40 years. Balclutha youngsters are engaging with technology through a computer game as part of a monthly event. And a couple in Cromwell are getting creative with wine barrels, turning them into chairs, tables and more as part of their cottage industry. And time now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig.
Good evening. Yeah, big story breaking this afternoon. Christchurch Airport confirming that it's purchased 750 hectares of land in central Otago near Terrace, with long-term plans to build a world-class sustainable airport in the area. They've already spent $45 million on buying up farmland and doing some preliminary work about it. They're talking about initially a 2.2 kilometre runway with jet capabilities. Yeah, there's been long-term concerns about, I guess, the future of Queenstown Airport. It's been well publicised, so busy up there at the moment, and there's not a lot of space to grow anymore. So there have been talks about alternative airports. Wanaka was talked about as one, and Terrace was another suggestion, but a lot of people laughed it off. So today's announcement's come as a bit of a shock. Christchurch Airport said it had hoped to talk to Terrace residents in advance of this announcement, but the media got wind of it today and it was out there, so they had to break the story. They think there's a lot of growth and potential in Central Otago for them as a business, so that's why they're moving on it. It's going to be a really long process to build an airport from scratch, though, as you can imagine. And a lot of opposition, I will imagine, as well, from people in that area who had quiet, peaceful holiday homes and now in the flight path. So a lot of water to go under the bridge. We talked to some local residents as well who were a bit surprised about the announcement, but we're going to hear more about this in coming weeks, as you can imagine.
Yes. Right.
Also confirmation today that Dunedin won't be used as a COVID managed isolation centre at this stage. We've had the Minister down here looking at various sites, and the word was it was all go and could possibly open as early as next week, but they announced today that they've now backtracked on that, and Dunedin has got too many logistical challenges for them to use as an isolation centre. The Mayor, Aaron Hawkins, said he backs the government. They've done their homework and research, so he's happy to go with their decisions. But I guess for some hotels it would have been an opportunity to get back in business and earn some money as well, so a bit of a double-edged sword in that respect. And finally, on the sporting front, we continue our sports series, talking to local athletes who are hoping to head to Tokyo in 12 months' time. Of course, the Olympics postponed. We catch up with Blackfern Kelly Brazier, who was brought up in Dunedin, spent a lot of time down here. It's been a busy time for her. Her and her partner Talia welcomed baby son Oakley in February, so the lockdown came as a good time for her because she actually got to spend some time with him rather than travelling the world playing sevens. So yeah, she's pretty excited and focused on the sevens, but it's also the same year as the Women's Rugby World Cup, so she's hoping for double success next year. So well worth a read, that story.
Right, well, thank you, Craig. All of that and much more in tomorrow's ODT. And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, Very cold tomorrow and Friday as strong southwesterly airstream blows wintry showers across Southland and Otago from the Southern Ocean. Snow flurries are likely to low levels in Southland and inland Otago. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are looking at mostly cloudy skies, persistent showers and 13 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect cloudy skies with 14 degrees. Moving to Canterbury, it will be cloudy with showers and 13 degrees for Kaikoura, cloudy and 12 degrees for Christchurch. Ashburton has gusty westerlies and 11 degrees. To the southern towns, plan for strong southwesterlies and snow showers. The Catlins, Lumsden and Gore aim for 5 degrees, while Balclutha should reach 4 degrees. In central, you can expect gusty southwesterlies and mostly fine conditions. Wanaka heads for 5 degrees, Queenstown 4 degrees, Alexandra 6 and Tiano 5 degrees with snow showers. To the northern towns, on the coast, Timaru and Oamaru can expect moderate southwesterlies and mostly fine conditions, 10 for Timaru and 9 in Oamaru. Inland, those in Twizel and Omarama can plan for gusty southwesterlies, mostly fine skies with 5 degrees. In Dunedin, fine and cold tonight with strong gusty westerly winds and an overnight low of 3 degrees. Mostly fine tomorrow with sunny periods and some clouds. Very cold with fresh to strong gusty west to southwesterly winds. High of 7 and a low of 3. Similar on Friday, mostly fine with some cloud, cold temperatures and gusty southwesterlies, high of 8 and a low of 2. And in Invercargill, mostly cloudy with frequent showers tonight and strong gusty southwesterlies bringing hail and sleet with an overnight low of 2. Snow flurries possible tomorrow morning and tomorrow night with a high of 5 and a low of 1. Similar on Friday, mostly cloudy with wintry showers and strong, very cold southwesterlies, high of 6 and a low of 1. That's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.